Well, hey, how you doing? This is just a short rant video. As you all know, I own and run a couple of Minecraft servers. You also know that I've been programming for nearly 30 years now. And one of the things that drives me absolutely nuts is people who lie about what they do. Don't like liars at all. Never did. I had a run-in today with these BZ brothers or something. A 13-year-old told me he could write in 10 different languages, which is completely garbage. My dog was probably smarter than him, actually. They have a bunch of videos, and they have a bunch of subs. And I went and watched a couple videos today, and their technique for teaching people was just so antiquated and so out of left field that it just amazes me that people take these kids seriously. Their coding style is terrible, their annotation style is terrible, their logic style is non-existent. They get by the skin of their teeth based on other tutorials. I witnessed and noticed a lot of things that they had stolen from other sites, official sites, bukkit sites, about how to code plugins. Same naming conventions, same classes, things like that, same layouts. They really don't know how to think for themselves. They're really just a bunch of little kids copying things and trying to get famous off of lies. The purpose of this video is to caution you about who you get your information from. When you watch a video on YouTube and about programming in Java or programming for bukkit, and you hear a little kid talking, that should be your first clue that this is a video to be avoided. I'm not saying that there aren't smart little kids out there, but even if they are smart, they don't have enough experience to get their message across properly. For example, in this one video, this kid was talking about making a little plugin to heal himself, which is fairly simple to do. But he missed a couple of very key points, and he did some sloppy coding. For instance, in bukkit, if you were to pass a parameter, he called it args all the time. It's really a parameter he's passing. He should have renamed the variable, but he didn't. He left it alone. But he had mentioned in there that if you wanted to heal yourself, you'd pass it with no args. If you wanted to heal someone else, you'd pass it with an arg of a player name. Well, that makes sense. What he failed to do when he ran through it and he put the video up for the first time is he failed to check not only is the target player online, but if the target name was null. Now in bukkit, this is obviously something he didn't know because I didn't see it in this video. You can get the player name, the proper player name, by assigning a name string to a player object through the bukkit API. And it will return to you the name of a player if they are online. If not, it'll throw a null. When he was doing this online and typing in false names, he was getting this error and then realized his mistake and went back and acted like he knew what he was doing, but he really didn't. So he went and added that little piece of code and said, if they weren't online, to produce this little text on the screen that said, well, they're not online. This is a common mistake with an inexperienced programmer, because what he should have been doing is, well, checking for null first, of course. And if it was null, that means it was a non-existent player online. He should have handled it that way. Because with bukkit, there is another feature called get offline player to see if there was a player who's been on your server already that doesn't exist now. That should have also been checked. And being the inexperienced programmer that he is, he didn't do that. Now these are just, some basic common mistakes that obviously a 13-year-old will never know. So again, I caution you, when you watch a YouTube video to learn how to write a plugin, don't get it from a little kid. I'm not saying they're stupid, I'm saying they're inexperienced, and they don't have the proper tools or background to give you the proper advice. It's kind of like learning how to be a truck mechanic from a motorcycle mechanic. He might have the fundamentals down, but he's not going to have the experience an actual truck mechanic will have to know the ins and outs of a diesel engine as opposed to a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke motorcycle engine. So, like I said, in the future, be careful. Make sure that you get information from a proper course and not from some 13-year-old kid. But that's it for now. I will actually be putting some stuff up later with proper tutorials on how to do these things rather than tutorials from his. The other thing I found that was funny too is that every project in his Eclipse, except the one he was working on, all had errors in them. Every one of them. You can tell that on the left side. You will see a little red exclamation point that sticks out fairly far. As you can see, none of mine do. So, regardless, enjoy, have fun. Java is a pain. Once you learn it, you know, it's not as hard, but it's still a pain. But don't take the advice of someone who is, well, let's just say it doesn't have a need for a jockstrap at this moment in his life, let alone trying to come off as a competent programmer, because they're not. And you're only going to get confused and upset. I mean, even in the comments of the video, I saw people saying, I got errors, I got errors. And it's not surprising. They're going to get errors because things aren't properly handled. One of the biggest mistakes Java programmers make, they don't check for null. And neither did he, and he learned his lesson. So anyway, that's it. Thanks. Bye.